Well, I moved so much that that feeling of walking into the cafeteria and not knowing where to go is something that really has stayed with me my entire life. So, I mean, I just did that so many times. I was always that kid who walked in and thought, like, where do I sit? So I was really, so happy, always so happy to find a friend or a group of people or a place to go or because that's the part of high school that's so terrifying. I think for all of us, the social part.
Well, it's funny you bring up the lunchroom because it is such I always ate alone. My daughter's like, I would have eaten with you. But I always brought a book and ate by myself. And it's funny how the lunchroom sort of defines your experience to some degree.
Let that lonely feeling wash away.
September 24th marks the highly anticipated release of Julianne Moore and Amy Adams' latest film, Dear Evan Hansen, an adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical.
Today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why.
Ben Platt reprises his title role from the Broadway production, a high school student with social anxiety disorder who writes himself daily letters as a form of therapy.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, that's mine. I'll just take it. Wait, I need that back.
Amy co-stars as Cynthia Murphy, the grieving mother of one of Evan's classmates.
Dear Evan Hansen, he wrote it to you.
While Julianne plays Evan's single mom, Heidi Hansen.
Have you been doing those letters to yourself with Dr. Sherman?
I've been trying to.
I love her. I mean, I love Heidi because she is working so very hard and she's so dedicated to him. And it's such an intense relationship as a single parent and an only child. It's really, their family is very small, and that's hard. It's hard not to have any support, to have anybody else to turn to. It's a big responsibility and she doesn't feel like she's always up to it. She admits her failings and is not, but wants to be honest with him and I think communicate that how much she loves him and how she will always be there no matter what. The attachment is so profound, and it's rare that you're able to articulate that. I think in a movie. It's something that we all sort of take for granted, but in this movie, I think each of these mothers demonstrates the depth of their attachment to their children, and it's pretty beautiful to experience that.
While Amy had already starred in the hit Hollywood musicals Enchanted and The Muppets,
I'm having a me party by myself.
This was actually Julianne's first chance to sing on film.
I didn't sing publicly until I was in high school when I was in a musical, and that was really the last time I sang in public. I mean, I've done little kind of snippets of things in films where like you sing a fragment of a song.
With your hook and line, I still blow away.
But this was really my big singing in public moment in Dear Evan Hansen, and it was pretty terrifying. But I was grateful for the experience and so gratified to work with so many amazing musical talents.
I was in kindergarten. No, I'm kidding. I was actually. My dad wrote a musical.
Aww.
That we performed in the talent show. I was real popular. What's funny is I can't remember a time in my life where music hasn't been a huge part of it, and what it helps me relax. It helps me come to realizations. It makes me laugh. It inspires me. Music's just always been a part of my life, but singing in public I'm terrified of. So every time I'm about to do it, I go, why did I get myself into this? Like, what was I thinking? I'm terrified of this. But I love singing, and I love music. So.
Dear Evan Hansen was the second time Julianne and Amy have worked together. The A-list actresses also shared a scene in the thriller The Woman in the Window, released earlier this year on Netflix.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Jane Russell original. See how I changed the subject on you?
I did.
Yeah, you didn't know who you're fooling with.
I think one of the things that struck me the first time I was able to get to work with Julianne was her energy and her dedication and her generosity. There's just so many things I was struck by, and I immediately wanted to just like Velcro myself to her. And I got in trouble because I started chatting. Every time I'm with her, I think I get in trouble because I get real chatty with Julianne.
Well, I'm always chatty. That's my problem. It's like I can't stop talking. And so if when somebody reciprocates, it was so fun.
It was really fun. And a wide range of topics, and she's just a beautiful soul. So it was really a gift to get to work with her before, and a gift to get to work with her. We've now done 2 scenes together.
Yes, exactly. We keep saying we have to find something where we have more than one scene in a movie. It's like,
Yeah. I'm a huge admirer, and even more so after getting the opportunity to be on set with her.
oh, well, I feel the same way. I think Amy has such extraordinary range. I mean, that's something, when I first saw, I remember seeing Enchanted and how she was perfectly able to embody that idea of that princess, of a, of a Disney-esque princess, but make her human.
I've never been this far away from home before, and I'm not sure at all where I am. If somebody could show me just a bit of kindness, a friendly hello.
I mean, it was so beautiful, so precise. And then I think of her in something, like, it's not called Gone Girl. It's
Sharp
the one,
Objects.
it's the what? Yes, dark. Yes, exactly. Sharp Objects. That's why I was thinking. But I think about that kind of range, that she has, where she was able to play that, like that kind of, light and loving and frothy character, and then this kind of dark and deeply damaged alcoholic character.
Heard you were back in town.
How about we catch up over your finest raw whiskey?
And how much humanity she brings to all of it, always, and then to be able to work with her the times that I've worked with her and look her in the eye while she's doing these really complicated things where I get to be like 2 feet from her. So I'm, huge admirer.
Julianne and Amy both play mothers in Dear Evan Hansen, and they also happen to be moms in real life. But despite their experience, both on screen and off, they're always interested in a good piece of parenting advice.
I'll take any, because she's 11, so I'll take anything you got. I'm just open. I'll take any advice, especially from people who have walked that road. My daughter is always like, I have to learn to try not to fix the problem, but to be present. That's something I'm working on, is being present to be a good listener without trying to necessarily fix it for her.
Wow, I remember the best advice I was given was by a preschool teacher and I don't know if it works for adolescents, but I was really surprised by this. She said, it's probably better for younger children. She said, redirect them. Something was going on with my son in a social situation, and she said, redirect him. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, just point him in another direction, find something else for him. And that really stayed with me. And it was a 24-year-old preschool teacher. She was remarkable, and her advice worked. And I did think that there are times when you feel as a parent that you can't intercede. It doesn't mean that you can necessarily change a situation, but you can sometimes redirect someone. Say, oh, this isn't working for you. What about this over here? That looks like it might be a little bit of an easier path. Yeah. So that's the one piece of advice that someone gave me that I liked.
As moms, Julianne and Amy were also both especially moved by the story of Dear Evan Hansen from the moment they first saw it on Broadway.
Yes, I saw it really early on because I'm a big, I live in New York City, and so I like to go to musicals, when they open, particularly new ones, because that's so fun and exciting. And my kids were teenagers at the time. I loved the show. I was so blown away by Ben and everything he did and how original he was and what an incredible musician he is. And then also the show was so modern and so much about the adolescent experience, but also reflected parental experience. I mean, it was just one of those things where you connected so completely to the show as an audience member. It felt like it was really reflecting genuine experience.
I saw it much later. When I live in Los Angeles, so when we would go to New York with my daughter, we would see shows that were geared younger. So I finally had a chance to be in New York on my own and immediately saw Dear Evan Hansen and was absolutely blown away. And brought her back a month later. I think they thought I just was a little crazy that I had come twice in a month, but I thought it was a really important show for her to see at that time as well. So I immediately pursued if they were making a film that I wanted to be a part of it. So I sort of let that be known.
Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay.